So something that's really not spoken about enough is the emotional toll of heart disease or a cardiac event. Now, very often these people will receive excellent professional help from the doctors and the nurses and the medics, and they'll be discharged and released into cardiac rehab programs. Now, cardiac rehab programs are fantastic for diet advice. They're fantastic for exercise, getting people moving, and even a sense of community. But very often they don't address the stress caused by a cardiac event, the anxiety that can linger long after medical discharge. You know, people are medically fine, but they're a long way from psychologically fine after a cardiac event. Those sleepless nights where you're laying awake and you're not knowing if you can trust your body anymore. The fear that these cardiac events might happen again, or it might be worse next time. This lack of understanding of how far you can push yourself to exercise. You know you need to exercise, but you don't know how far you can push yourself in that exercise for fear of triggering a recurrent event. All of these things add up to this perfect storm of essentially this all-consuming anxiety that leads your stress response to be constantly triggered, which is releasing cortisol and other stress hormones that are keeping you in this fight or flight state, which are meaning that you can't truly relax. Now, relaxation is so important for your cardiac health. Stress management is so important for your cardiac health, yet these are treated as nice to haves. You know, you're on this whole host of medications. Your identity has shifted. Your idea of your health and your future has shifted. Feelings of mortality, fears of morbidity all coming up, and they're not really addressed by the medical world, because as far as they're concerned, they've fixed your problem, they've given you the surgery, they've given you the medication, they've unblocked the artery, whatever it might be, and you're left in this limbo. Now, this is where working with myself could come in very beneficial, because I understand that medical world. I'm part of that medical world. I was a critical care cardiac nurse for many years before moving into more remote areas of medicine, but essentially I've always loved and worked with the heart. It's been an area of focus of me for many, many years. I'm also a qualified therapist. I also understand the psychology of recovery and resilience. I understand how the nervous system works, how the nervous system can flick between rest and digest, which is great for healing, and into the stress response, fight or flight, which essentially shuts down healing. So it's not surprising that these people are discharged medically, but they're left in this psychological limbo. That's not surprising to me. A lot of the work I did when I was a cardiac nurse was just helping people relax, helping people feel more comfortable, helping people understand what's happening to their body, which in turn helps them manage the psychological effects, helps them manage the stress, and then truly begin to integrate this experience, heal from this experience, and move on from this experience. So if you're interested in that, please do get in touch, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a great day, and know that the emotional and psychological healing is just as important as the physical healing, and we can't truly have one without the other. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.